So who's got better weed, Colorado or Florida? This is something that I actually get asked about a lot because I lived in Colorado for about 5 years shopping in mostly the medical market over there. And then now I live in Florida. I've been here for about a couple years and I've been shopping the medical market here. Well, the answer might surprise you, or it might be a little bit more elaborate than you were thinking of. You can't really just say one's better than the other or I like this one more. Because honestly, if I were to kind of break it down, it would be like an overall referencing of things. And I think that on average, the weed in Florida is better. Now, I need to explain this answer because there's a lot of, no, bro, Colorado, bro, it's got the dankest. No, seriously, Colorado does have some of the dankest weed that you can find. Some of the highest quality, some of the best weed on the planet is in Colorado. But you know what else is there? Some of the worst fucking weed I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God, some doo-doo tier, shit tier, the fucking worst mids I've ever seen. I walked into a dispensary one time, dude. They had 35. I remember the guy go, we got 35 strains, right? Come check them out. I looked in like 6 or 7 jars and I was like, I can't buy anything in here. This is the worst weed I've ever seen in my life. The worst weed I've ever seen in my life was in a Colorado Springs medical marijuana dispensary. Just so many more options over there. There's so many more cannabis businesses in general. It's way harder to get a license. It's way more expensive to get a license to run a cannabis business in Florida. So on average, the quality is a little bit higher because there's multi-million-dollar corporations looking into it. They're not gonna drop millions and millions of dollars and then just hire some grower who's known for mids. In Colorado, though, there's hundreds of dispensaries. I don't even think there's 24 different brands of dispensaries in Florida. In Colorado, there are hundreds. It's just so much cheaper to get into the market or get into the business of selling weed that more people are doing it. And you know what that means? More levels of quality. Some of the worst weed is in some of these legal states. Here in Florida, there's just so few options that most of them are pretty good or better. There are some places that do have some pretty bad weed here and there. But I've said before, cannabis is batch-based, so you're going to get bad weed sometimes even from the good places. The price is the major difference between, there's so many options, so many choices, so much competition in Colorado that of course you're going to be able to get cheaper weed and cheaper dabs. Everything over there is cheaper. It's hard to break down the price exactly because there are so many price points, there being so many options for cannabis in Colorado. You can get an eighth of weed for like $8 at one place, $15 in the next place, $25 at another place. But for the most part, on the things that I would like to get, like I used to get a lot of live resin in Colorado Springs, and the average price was like $35 a gram for it. I could find it a little bit cheaper, a little bit more expensive, but for the most part, the average retail price was $35. But I'm not paying the average retail price. I'm shopping for deals and looking for who's got 50% off that $35 price. I buy some live sugar now that looks just like some stuff I would get in Colorado Springs for like $12 a gram. This one place would have sales. It would either be $12 or $15 a gram for live butter and live sugar. And here I pay about $50, $55 for something that looks almost identical. I do sometimes get the sale. I think I'll get 20, 30% off that $55. So it'd be closer to like $40 or so. But like flour, I would always get like a quarter of flour for like $50. Many places had ounces in Colorado for $75 to $100. If you wanted like the really premium stuff, you might pay $150 or so. But here in Florida, I'm not going to find an ounce for $150 that is worthwhile. But also here in Florida, I feel like I'm becoming more detached from buying weed. I used to go into the dispensary in Colorado and they'd have jars of weed that I could look at. They'd have display jars I could look and smell and see what I was buying. I could pop open the dabs and go, yeah, this is the one I want. I've heard from some people it's kind of changed slightly, so maybe it's not even as fun anymore. But here when I go in the dispensary, everything's sealed. I can't really look at anything. I can't smell anything. So I can't tell if I'm getting the good or the bad batch of it. So I just say, just get me whatever. But either way, Colorado does have some amazing options. And I feel like I've had so many great experiences with getting high off of the different variety and products over there that it's wonderful. And if you're interested in hearing more about my time when I lived in Colorado, check out this story time. I'm not sure which one I'm going to link here, but definitely watch this.